Check, check, 1 2 1 2. Check, check, 1 2 1 2. You ready, MMA-Holes? Are you ready? From the Sonosi Hairline Studios of Arizona, welcome to the Victim Stream. Welcome, friends. How you doing? Everyone smash the like button. Live from the Sonosi Hairline Studios, we're here with our buddy Ariel Helwani, who went live today to discuss the situation, many situations, but one that really stands out, a situation of Dana White and his wife that we went at last stream. An incredible amount of time spent on last stream. So tonight, we're going to spend time on Ariel's response to the situation. Also, Phil Baroni killed his girlfriend. Anyway, it's pretty interesting that this both happened during the weekend in Mexico. What was going on in Mexico this past weekend, 4th of July? Let's let's punch my wife, smack my wife, let's murder my girlfriend. What is going on with that situation? I don't know. It's really strange. But yeah, we will touch on this after we do the Ariel situation. Phil Baroni, it's a horrific thing. He's accused of allegedly killing his girlfriend. And it seems like that is the case. Now, innocent until proven guilty, but apparently he said that he dragged his girlfriend into the tub, and I don't know. It's really messed up. Anyway, we'll start with a little lighthearted situation, the Ariel situation. Now, I am going to warn the people of the chat, the people that are tuning in tonight. I'm going to warn you guys. First off, we had a guest that was supposed to come on, but he has been moved to next week. We got a juicy topic anyway, so it's okay. We'll have that guest on next week. I reached out to a young man who was nice enough to like one of our Instagram posts. A guy that his name is Violent Bob Ross, and I thought he would be fantastic to talk about domestic violence with the community. I thought that would be a great fit, but unfortunately we didn't hear back with that, so that didn't happen. So you're going to hear from me tonight. Ariel Helwani is an interesting character, because no matter what happens, he always paints himself as a victim. I've never seen someone that is in the MMA community that's been so much of a victim. There hasn't been one worse than Ariel Helwani. Every single time the man hits the mic and there's some controversy, somehow he's always the victim. And I feel that people are not talking about this. I feel like it needs to be addressed. Even today, when I was watching his stream, and he was talking about the Dana situation, looking over at my mom, and my mom was like, I can't really watch this guy. Because there is something about him that is incredibly fake. It's beyond, fake. And the fact that people are gobbling this up and believing and hanging off of every word because he is throwing the truth out there and how he's so anti-liar and bully, I think you guys are brainwashed. I really do. Ariel Helwani, I'm not saying he's a bad human being. I'm not saying he's a bad dad. I'm not saying he's bad at what he does as a journalist. He's very good. He's a talented young man. And he has a bright future with his show, with his future endeavors. He's going to be successful in no matter what he does. But the constant crying and complaining how he is the victim over and over again, enough's enough. He tries to lean into this Helwani thing, and then when that gets old, he decides to get emotional and say how things hurt him and yada, yada, yada. So tonight we're going to play the ending of his conversation about Dana White. It's 30 some odd minutes, so I'm not going to play the whole thing, of course, but I'll play the ending of it. And I want to know, what is real fight talk? I always pause when I see that icon. Dude, the domestic violence number at the end was fucking, yeah. He his mic drop was the domestic violence thing, and everyone's gobbling it up. if Ariel Helwani was indeed the victim, he wouldn't be going out there and making 30-minute segments on it. He wouldn't be having clippable moments where it's like, that's going to get shared. This person's going to talk about it. He's not going to drop domestic violence graphics if he truly believed there was domestic violence that happened. Now, listen, you should never hit a woman. I agree with that. And in this situation over here, I got to be honest with you. It's not domestic violence. It's two knuckleheads in a relationship. The woman, who is the wife, slapped the shit out of Dana. Dana shouldn't grabbed her in the first place. She slaps him. He slaps her. It's a ridiculous, dumb situation. Dana was wrong, yes. But so is his wife. And the people going out there saying, she hit him first and was screaming and yelling. And then the other people were like, well, you just don't hit a woman. They were both wrong in the situation. And there was a lot of wrong things that happened. The way TMZ handled it. And I got to say, one thing that Ariel said I completely agree with. This is one thing I do agree with because I said it after our stream on Monday. I went back and I watched the TMZ interview with Dana. Unfortunately, I didn't get to see it before we streamed. I definitely would have aired that. TMZ talks to Dana White, and he, like Ariel said, softball questions. I 100% agree. TMZ did not even sugarcoat it. They didn't cover it up. They could have made it like, hey, you know, Dana, here's the hard-hitting questions and answer the questions and let's get out of here. They were just saying things that you're like, they were trying to lead Dana in the right path, and Dana's like, no, I effed up. So I will agree with Ariel on that situation. We 100% are in sync with that. But if you look at the entirety of the 30-some-odd minutes of Ariel Helwani talking about Dana White, it's for clicks and views. It's not because he's hurt. He's emotional. Everything in there is for clicks and views, just like what we're doing right now. This is for clicks and views. Click the like button, share the stream, subscribe to the channel. Very transparent over here. That's what it's for. But the difference between this and what Ariel did today is that was a strategic plan to play the victim. Woe is me. Get a gazillion clicks, 10-7 Ariel shirts, let them be made. People sliding into our DMs saying, oh, Ariel roasted Dana White. And all I could say is you guys are all just falling into the trap. Let's play it. Before we play it, Sonosi's got a donation. What do we got over here?
Wonderful.
The King.
In all these years, has Ariel ever acted like a man? Did either hides or cries? Maybe he resonates with Dana wife, you know, being a woman, has white knights aka simps, etc. Maybe Ariel transition perhaps? Would make sense in 2023.
You never know. Anything's possible, and if he did, I hope he's happy. Thank you, Sonosi, for the $2 donation. Now, you have the ability to donate during the stream. Feel free to do so. It helps out the channel. Thank you very much for that. Hit the like button if you haven't done that. Okay, let's play this Ariel Helwani situation here. And now, one's in the chat if you actually heard the stream today or the replay of Ariel talking about Big Dana. I don't think what Dana did was correct. He definitely handled it wrong. There's no doubt about that. It is what it is. They both apologized. I don't understand, like Jesse said on the Monday stream. Okay, a lot of people did hear it. 0.5, 0. Okay, a couple of people didn't. Don't worry, we're going to be playing it and we're going to be dissecting the end of it, not the whole thing. I won't let you sit through that entirety. Because honestly, it was a tough listen. And it's just so weird. I don't know why I'm whispering. I go on Twitter and just people are like, oh, on Ariel Helwani, man. What is that about? Why are we all up his head? Like, I don't understand. There's a lot of knob gobbling with Ariel Helwani. I mean, impressive. I'm very impressed. Maybe I'm jealous. I don't know. But what is going on? The 10-7s and the fucking people that think that Ariel's going to get him a job? Is that what it is? Maybe I'll work with Ariel if I fucking suck his, you know what? What is that about? Help me out here before I get into this. Maybe I'm missing something. I think Ariel's a very successful guy. I think he's talented. I hope him nothing but success. But when there's a situation when someone is kind of hypocritical and kind of selling you guys bullshit, I got to sit here and call him out. I can't just sit here and be like, oh yeah, let me suck his cock too. Can't do that. And I'm not sucking the boss's cock. Because look at our last previous streams. Look at the shorts that we put out there. We were tearing apart Dana White as well. Tear everyone apart over here. We be fair to everybody. But why? Why are we all over the victim that is Ariel Helwani? Are we a victim society? Is that what we draw ourselves to? Is that what we gravitate towards? The victims? There are real victims out there that we should be helping and supporting and liking and retweeting. Ariel's not one of them. He's perfectly fine. Maybe I'm missing something, but the only one who seems to be thinking about Ariel is this guy. You know, the guys on Morning Combat criticized Dana too. I got to be honest with you. Morning Combat is not even on my radar. I don't watch them. I know Luke Thomas. I've met him multiple times. He's actually a very nice guy. Not my content, not my cup of tea. I just don't watch it. I just don't care. So there's really nothing I could give a shit about with they're just like two goofballs. Ariel's like a legit, like, he's the guy, right? When it comes to MMA media, I just, you know, he's everywhere. He's very good at what he does. I'm not trying to discredit this man's work of, you know, what he's done. He's good at what he does. Morning Combat, I don't understand how they win awards. I can't even wrap my head around how people watch that shit. Did you forget shit Dana talked about at Helwani? This is Detroit versus everyone. How's the Pistons doing? Haven't kept up with them. I am a Pistons fan. But I've been a very terrible Pistons fan. Okay. If you're going to retaliate on the Dana White situation, yeah, you have every right to do so. Every right. Did you listen to the 30 fucking minute like violins going? I mean, Dana White and Patty went in on him, what, 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 7 tops? Ariel went in 30 minutes on the guy and fucking dragged his family in. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's a little different. Not a basketball fan, but the Lions are, yeah, you fucking Lions. How dare you? Well, it doesn't matter. We made the playoffs as the Giants. Probably run to the line. There you are. You know, good luck, man. I don't hate the Lions. I could imagine being married to the same person for over 30 years and not hitting them at least once. All right, let's play it. Let's play it over here. I got to be honest with you. Maybe this is a selfish stream for me, but I am just trying to figure out what is going on. Like, it happened with Megan Anderson. Everyone, like, when she had the thing with Casey Kenny, and everyone just jumped to Megan Anderson and tried to cancel Casey Kenny. And I was like, guys, what are we doing here? Like, this is kind of stupid. And now this whole thing with let's save Ariel. He's way more successful than anyone on this side of the mic and that side of the mic. Let's be serious. And like, what do we like? Why are we white knighting this dude? He's a big boy. You know what I'm saying? He's a big boy. He can handle himself. I don't understand. Like, it's like you're acting like he was raped or something. Like, it's just ridiculous. Uncle Chrome, thank you for being a member for 31 months. Let's go, champ.
Wonderful.
Sanosi.
You know, I can proudly say our community aren't simps. We disagree, you and Jess, a lot, not zealous lil sheep. Also, any dude who needs 30 minutes versus her 5 on them says a lot. Dana, Patty, says it all. Confirming Ariel is a woman confirmed.
Thank you, Sanosi. He's right, though. We rip each other apart constantly on this channel. And we defend each other when the time is appropriate. But anytime Ariel fucking puts his hand on top of the laptop, everyone's taking their dicks out and just start jerking off. Like, yeah, come on, Helwani, give it to me, baby. Give it to me hard and strong.
What happens then? If you got away with it, how could you punish them? Now you're just a hypocrite.
Hypocrite. Hypocrite is a word that Ariel likes to throw out there over and over and over again. Hypocrite. He's not.
If you don't do anything. All that being said, asking me right now, face to face, mano a mano, do I believe something's going to happen? The answer is no.
Does he believe something is going to happen? The answer is no. Do you believe something's going to happen to Dana White? I mean, he's catching a lot of heat right now. What should the UFC do? Should they fire him? I mean, it's Disney owned, it's ESPN owned, it's, you know. Is that what we should do here? Should we? Are you, Ariel, you asking to fire him? Eye for an eye, right? You got fired from ESPN. You think Dana had a part of that. Should we? Is that what we got to do here? We got to fire him so you could actually go to events again? I don't know. Sounds like a hidden agenda to me.
Me right now, face to face, mano y mano. Do I believe something's going to happen? The answer is no. I do not believe anything is going to happen. Endeavor has been silent. Reporters have asked the UFC for a comment on this. They have said, I shit you not, refer to the TMZ article. This is a major league sports organization telling reporters to refer to a TMZ article for further comment on the president of the company involved in something like this.
Now, keep in mind, he's already done, before this, he's done about 15 to 20 minutes of rambling before this even was said. I'm just playing the ending part of his ramble.
Are you kidding me? I mean, you want another indication of where we sit, of who we are? Refer to a TMZ article? Really?
Now, I mean, that's terrible, right? What are we to do? The UFC hasn't restarted yet. We don't know if they are going to take action. We have no idea. But, hey, I'm Ariel Helwani. Let's get the ball rolling. Let's cancel the boss so I could get media passes for the next UFC event. I guess that's what's happening here. Can we let this thing unfold? Was it a little fishy? Yes. It was released during big football news. A guy almost dies on the field. I don't know. I hope he's okay. This gets dropped. TMZ has an instant interview, which is very, very bizarre that Ariel brings that up. He's correct about that. It's very bizarre. There is some damage control going on over here for sure. Why don't we wait and see what happens? Does the boss get questioned by the media after a fight happens? Like, there are no fights going on right now. Let things unfold. Ariel, I'm sorry. Are we supposed to say, oh, Dana fucking slapped around his wife? Let's, what do you need to know, bud? Are you that fucking narcissistic that you think you need to know all this information? Let it unfold. See what happens. Why we jump into conclusions? Why we fucking throwing fucking pitchforks at the guy? He's already catching the heat on the internet. Why we piling on, Ariel? Oh, I forgot. Because Dana was a part of you getting fired from ESPN, correct? Oh, that's why. I see.
Super chat.
BK, how you doing?
Mose, I'll take Ariel over those other Dana simps.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough. And maybe that's what it is, too. Thank you, BK, for the donation. Maybe people are sick of people defending Dana White because now we got the fighter pay stuff. Dana makes a lot of money. People hate the fact that he throws his fighters on the bus. So whatever the situation is. And I say this to you. What's better? What's the better answer? Like, just as a fan, what's better for the UFC? Do we need to get rid of Dana White? Just put aside. Let's not talk about this whole domestic violence thing. I mean, it's fucked up, that whole situation. We'll see what happens with that. But when it comes down to just Dana as a boss, why are we hating the guy? I think he's did nothing but good. Honestly. Like, how he dragged the UFC through COVID and fucking led the team to victory as other sports just crumbled and the UFC kept going. I mean, I think Dana's done a lot of good. Now, has he done a lot of good for the fighters? No. I mean, there should be health insurance. There should be increased pay. Yes. There should be. And maybe that's why people hate Dana White. I don't know. But we know why Ariel hates Dana White. So I guess that's what it is, too. Maybe it's not just I love Ariel. It's I hate Dana. Maybe that's what it is, right? Maybe that is what it is.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Uncle Chrome.
I mean, Uncle Dana got rid of Paul Daly for soft ass punch after the bell. Now he's slapping his wife like Ike slapped Tina Turner.
Thank you. Thank you, Uncle Chrome. Thank you. Now, listen, I just want to make sure that you guys understand this. I don't think that Dana did anything right in the situation. It's not like I could defend Dana White and say, oh my God, Dana's a fucking saint. He whacked his wife. There's no doubt about it. We did a whole stream making very inappropriate jokes about that. So I'm not saying, hey, Dana should go scot-free, this and that. I don't know what the punishment's going to be. I don't even know the entire details. I do know that his wife hit him first. So in fairness, I agree with there shouldn't be domestic violence. I agree with that. You should never hit a woman, and a woman should never hit a guy either. Both parties were guilty of domestic violence. One just so happened to be, yoked with TRT. They're both wrong. The weird thing is, though, his wife was like, he's never done something like this before. Oh, I'm sorry. So I guess you slap him every other week. I mean, I guess that's a normal thing for the wife. Like, the wife's like, he's never done that before, but me, I guess that's what's going on over here. Listen, they got problems. They got fucking problems. Thankfully, it looks like no one got hurt. They apologized. They have kids to take care of here. Let them iron it out and let the upper echelon figure out, hey, what are we going to do with this situation?
Wonderful.
Complete menopause. Thank you. TMZ is here. Oh, my God.
For the record, we would never give that whiny little bitch from Canada any information. We only deal with professionals.
There you go, Ariel. There you go. Thank you, TMZ. Thank you. There's your answer, bud. You're good to go.
Of the company involved in something like this. Are you kidding me? I mean, you want another indication of where we sit, of who we are? Refer to a TMZ article? Really? That's the response? So no, I don't think that anything is going to happen. I would be shocked if something did happen. This is going to get, quietly swept under the rug, and it'll be business as usual. Now, I've seen some media people write about this. I would urge you to read the majority of them. I thought Jed Meshew of MMA Fighting put out a great article earlier this morning, an honest and fair article earlier this morning, and I would urge you to read that. I saw Kevin Ioli's article of Yahoo Sports. We know Kevin's relationship. We know who he is as a reporter. He suggested that Dana go away for a month.
He also asked Dana if he was a doctor. Are you? And he also blocked the MMA-Holes. So Kevin Ioli, without a reason, he blocked the MMA-Holes without a reason. Now, I got to give Ariel credit. He's never blocked us. Not yet. Eventually, it's going to happen. But Kevin Ioli blocked us for no reason at all. But he did ask. He did ask Dana, are you a doctor? Kevin's got, listen, he is friends with Dana. Yes, they have some sort of mutual respect because he's been in the game for a long time. But at the same time, Kevin's got this weird vendetta against Dana too. Don't act like he doesn't. I mean, he's clearly asked Dana things where you're like, do you like this guy? Like, what's going on here? They have this bizarre relationship.
Let me ask you something. If Dana went away for a month, would anyone notice?
Let me answer it in the chat. If Dana went away for a month, would anyone notice? Yes or no in the chat, please. Like, what? Okay, Chrome, nope. Taunted Tiger, no. Sean Hart, no. They wouldn't notice. Zephyr would notice it. He just did. Yes. Never hit a woman back. Let's see. Just no, yes. BK said no. 100 says Brett. We should do a poll on this over here. But it looks like a lot more no's. It looks like you guys believe with Ariel because of the quote-unquote no's.
Wonderful.
It's a bad nose joke. Bad nose joke.
Wonderful.
They wouldn't. I mean, what the?
Bro got slapped and the Boston in him came out. He said, bitch, I'm supposed to be Ike and you supposed Tina. Not the other way around. Now we know why Dana let Greg Hardy in the UFC. They both have no problem smacking a bitch when need be.
Dude, it's crazy, man. You see these old, media scrums or whatever where Dana is saying you just don't hit a woman. I was even watching the Violent Bob Ross one when we reached out to him. Dana's eating the words, man. He made it very clear you should never hit a woman, which I firmly agree with. And then here he is in his 50s in a nightclub in Mexico. Yes, he was hit first, but at the end of the day, he did what you said you should never do. There's no excuse for. So there's no defending when it comes to that, right? There's no defending. But I got to be honest with you. I saw two individuals in that situation. I mean, clear as day from what I've seen. Two individuals acting incredibly immature. The wife and the husband. That's what I saw. I didn't see Dana saying, "Come here, you bitch," and just fucking slapping her around. I didn't see that. I saw him get whacked in the face and some weird primal instinct came out. He hit her back. You shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't. It's wrong. But I saw two guilty parties. Maybe one a little bit worse than the other, being Dana White. But still two guilty parties. Two sides to every story. They come out. They say, make their statement. It is what it is. We wait for the punishment, if there is going to be any, and then we decide what's going on. How do we feel about this? But man, Ariel, 30 minutes?
You gotta be your me.
Here he comes!
Spank away, spank away.
Ariel Helwani! Ariel Helwani! Ariel Helwani!
I was fired. Ariel
Sing it! You gotta be your meat.
Dana White doesn't
Oh, that was beautiful, beautiful timing over
Hey,
there.
leave
Roger.
me alone, Moss, and let me beat my meat to all clicks from this story. His wife was just slapping off the white dust under his nose.
Oh! You know,
Wonderful.
thank you for the 725 Beat Your Meat. Feel free to drop that Streamlabs donation in the description down below. If Ariel hit the fucking mic and said, "Hey, man," like just came out with a zinger and then moved on, that would have been great. That would have been great. You know, I'm not saying Ariel don't address this. Of course. Address it. Knock yourself out. Say what you want. You have a platform. You got a lot of people that watch. Go for it. It's just the 30 minutes of just crying and complaining. And the... oh, God. I'll just play it.
Would anyone notice? No. No one would notice.
No one would notice that Dana White's gone. If Dana White was gone for a month, no one would notice. That is utter bullshit. Like... It is, I don't care who said no in the chat. Doing this for a living or just being a massive UFC fan, after every fight card, I'm like, well, where's Dana? Like, if he's not there for the media scrum, I'm like, where is he? Like, what kind of nonsense? And here's the hypocritical part of Ariel Helwani. Dana said that to Ariel. That no one would notice that he's, I don't even know that he's in existence. I don't even know what he's doing right now. Like Dana already said that. So here's Ariel taking what Dana said and trying to throw it out there on Dana. It's like, bro, dude, it's just like weak sauce right now. It's weak because you know it's not the truth. Like, I thought you were all about the truth. We would know if Dana's gone. It would smash the ring girls. It's true. The ring girls wouldn't be walking funny. But, I mean...
What is that? That's a cop-out. That's you just saying, hey, everyone, here I am being this, real, tough guy. I'm going to stand up for what's right, but I'm really going to give my guy a pass. No. Either you're going to stand up for what's right or you're going to give him a pass. You can't do both, all right? You can't do both. If Dana White went away for a month, no one would notice. What? He wouldn't show up to the press conference in Brazil? Chances are he wasn't going to that fight anyway. He doesn't go to those well, who cares? That's the...
Who cares? Okay.
The repercussion? No, you have to tell your employees, your fighters, that this type of stuff doesn't fly. And it's not just about being like, yo, mea culpa, I messed up, we were married for 30 years, it's all good in the hood. No, that to me isn't enough.
Oh, I'm sorry. We don't have to answer to God, we have to answer to Ariel Helwani. It's not enough for him. Guys, listen. Some people believe in religion. Some people believe in praying to Ariel Helwani because we have to answer to him over there. I mean, he said it himself.
I messed up. We were married for 30 years. It's all good in the hood. No, that to me isn't enough. That to me isn't enough. If you want to know, and I'll never, ever, 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 ever get over this. If you want to know what Dana White and the UFC truly think about domestic violence, Look no further than January of 2019, the very first show on ESPN. Look no further than that show. Still to this day, I can't believe, and I bet there are new fans who don't even know that this happened. Greg Hardy, with his past, with his resume, with his rap sheet, with his history of domestic violence.
Did Ariel ever have Greg Hardy on the show? Greg Hardy. I don't know if he did. I bet he did, though. Ariel Helwani. Greg Hardy previews Juan Adams fight, talks future in boxing. Oh, you ready for this? Motherfucking hypocrite. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. I didn't prepare any of this shit. I literally said, wait. Exhibit A of being a sleazy hypocrite of a human being. That I'm just telling you that. Guys, if you want to clip some stuff from this show, you better do it quickly because Vox is going to be coming after me after this stream. This is exposing Ariel Helwani. It's the I'm telling you right now. This guy is he's not a saint. He's not fucking a perfect human being the way he tries. Like, he's always the victim in every situation. I'm not a fucking saint. Dana's not a saint. None of these guys are a saint. But he's got this vendetta. He's got this every situation, the Brendan Schaubs, the Dana Whites, whoever he's going back and forth with, he's always the victim. Always. Don't you see like what's going on here? Don't you see a pattern? Different people, same guy, Ariel. It's like, it's just coincidence?
What Dana White and the UFC truly think about domestic violence? Look no further than January of 2019, the very first show on ESPN. Look no further than that show. Still to this day, I can't believe, and I bet there are new fans who don't even know that this happened. Greg Hardy, with his past, with his resume, with his rap sheet, with his history of domestic violence. Greg Hardy was put on the first ESPN card. That alone was shocking to me. Brooklyn, New York, Barclays Center, the big debut on ESPN Plus and ESPN National, massive. That alone was shocking to me, that they would put Greg Hardy, of all people, who had no business being in the UFC, let alone fighting on the first ESPN card in such a massive moment in the history.
Greg, can you come on my show? Hey, don't mind the domestic violence that happened. You know, the UFC, they're a bunch of assholes. Why would they let you fight on their card? Hey, come on my show, bud. Let's get some clicks.
The sport. That alone was shocking. But you know what was even more freaking shocking?
Ooh, what?
And you know what said it all?
What else, Ariel? What else could it be? Let's find another hypocritical statement.
All about how they feel about these sorts of things is that they put him on the same card as Rachel Ostovich, who some 3, 4, 5 weeks earlier, less than that, was involved in her own domestic violence situation. She was the victim.
Oh. Ooh, so let's have Greg Hardy on the show. You know, let's just have him on the show, baby. I mean, that was low, UFC. Let's go even lower and interview him.
She was the victim of a domestic
He'll put a baby on the screen so that could soften the blow.
Violence situation. And they put her, this poor young woman who had to overcome that, who I spoke to a couple of weeks later, who was dealing with a lot of trauma, on the same freaking card.
Ooh, that's so low, man. I bet you paid for that pay-per-view too, Ariel. I bet you paid for it. Oof, victim.
As Greg Hardy. That alone should tell you what they think of domestic violence.
Yes. Yep. That's it. Hit the nail on the head. I mean, you take domestic violence very serious, Ariel. Very, very serious. So serious, you want to interview the domestic violence guys. Why don't you have, I'm sure if Dana agreed, you'd have him on. Mr. Domestic Violence Dana White, right? Would you say no, Ariel, to having Dana White on your show? I'm sure you would have him on. I'm sure you would have the boss on, right? If Dana White called you up and said, "Hey, Ariel, jackass, hey, goof, I'll come on the show. Let's air it out." Ariel would say yes in a heartbeat. He wouldn't even, and that's Mr. Domestic Violence Dana. The biggest fucking hypocrite. The biggest. And I'm the only fucking person out here saying it. I'm the only person that has a platform, that has the balls to say that this man over here is the biggest hypocrite in the fucking MMA world. On Twitter, on YouTube, whatever you want to say it. I'm sick of it. It's time to put our feet down. It's time to fucking put a stop to this. It's time to stop sucking off this victim. It's time to start getting all the evidence before saying, "Oh man, 10-7 Ariel, let's retweet." There's a reason why people are scared to retweet our stuff, because we speak the truth. We speak the truth. People are afraid. You can't handle the truth. Well, there it is. There's Ariel Helwani interviewing a domestic violence person.
Wonderful, wonderful.
I regret hitting my wife. I think I needed to hit Ariel. Dude is acting like I slapped his face. Also tweet that Hardy interview with Ariel right now, you mook.
Okay, we'll clip it. Someone's got to clip this shit. I'm streaming right now. Someone's got to put this out there. Tag Ariel at the MMA-Holes. Tag him. Clip this shit. Send it out there. It's the truth. But people, 10,000 people watching at a time, all on their edge of their seats, listening to Ariel just blow smoke up their ass. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Ariel, you have anything to say about this? I could do the whole 30 minutes and just tear it all apart. I'm sitting there like, what is he talking about? My mom is the purest woman in the world. She has no connect. She doesn't give a shit what I do. She doesn't give a shit what Ariel does. She doesn't give a shit what anyone does. And she's watching like, I can't even watch this guy. She's seeing right through him. How's my mom see right through him? But the fucking MMA community is like, yeah, bro, get him. It's bonkers.
And how tone deaf. And I used that same word on my one and only appearance on First Take in January of 2019. And I said, as an ESPN employee, knowing very well that this might cost me, I said this was a tone deaf decision by everyone involved. ESPN should have stepped in. UFC should have never made it happen. Some adult in the room should have said, you know what? Maybe we should put Greg Hardy on the card in 2 weeks. Maybe we should separate these two. Maybe we shouldn't put the guy with his rap sheet on the same card as the person who was just assaulted by a loved one a few weeks ago. Maybe that's not the best look.
Oh, yeah? Oh, Ariel, I should have listened to you, bud. But you did interview the domestic violence guy, right? Maybe you should have not had the guy that committed domestic violence on your show. Just saying. Maybe. But
for the cage fighting organization. And I said it, and I got blasted by Dana on TMZ, and I was told to keep my mouth shut, and I was told to take the high road.
You're told to take the high road. So have him on.
I've said before, Ariel Helwani, dead. Don't have to worry about that anymore. Thank the high heavens, because you can imagine what we would be doing now if it was me working over there during these times. Look at that. Look at the way it's been covered. Go look. And compare that, by the way, to the way other domestic violence situations have been covered. By the mainstream. By them. By people that I respect. But this is what they expect from us. This is what they expect from MMA, from cage fighting, from the UFC, from Dana White. We are not held to the same standard. You see, that's the thing. They talk about all these things about other owners, about boxing.
There you go, Waffles. You hit it on the head. Ariel is definitely an opportunist, 100%. He is taking a moment, he is seizing the moment, and he is getting the most click-worthy stuff he could possibly get out there by conning his audience into thinking that he's a victim, and then everyone around the UFC are victims, and it's bullshit. It's all bullshit. And people are just gobbling that shit up.
thing about promoters, and they always hold the UFC and Dana White to a different standard because we're the fun thing on Saturday night that you do with your friends, that you bet and you gamble and you eat your pizza and your wings and you drink your beer, and then you go to the real stuff on Sunday and then Monday, and we're kind of like the Vice on the side.
Yeah, we're all victims. You know, we're all getting, you know, bring up the pay-per-views. They're too high, man. Ariel, if you're gonna go, I mean, talk about the high prices of the pay-per-views, please. Throw it out in there because we're victims too. You know what? I'm Team Ariel. Keep going, homie.
So we don't get, you know, the same type of criticism because they don't actually think that highly of the sport and the particulars and the players in the sport. And so it's not going to dominate until it becomes a really, 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 really big thing. But just look at the coverage today, because I saw the coverage today and it was all, you know, kid gloves and this and that. I can guarantee you, if this was someone in his position in any other sport, in any other league, and I hate the comparison to the commissioner because he ain't a commissioner, he's an owner. I can guarantee you, if it was any other sports owner, any other executive, he would be raked over the coals. He would be, I mean, it would be completely different.
He's catching a ton of heat. There's no doubt about it. Now, he is getting a softball questions from TMZ. He's not wrong about that. He's catching a ton of heat. He was on a freaking stage. His wife slapped him. He slapped her back. It's over. Bunch of dopey YouTube channels like us make videos making fun of it. Some people crying and screaming that we got to do something about domestic violence. And I agree, domestic violence is horrific. But I got to be honest with you. Maybe I'm being insensitive with this. Was that domestic violence? The answer is yes on both sides. You're acting like the wife was completely innocent in that situation. She slapped him first. Like, I mean, I don't understand. Okay. Let's get his wife fired. Oh, wait, she probably doesn't work. Dana makes enough money. But if she was, let's get her fired too for domestic violence. They both had a moment. They both were being complete knuckleheads. First of all, I don't know what 50-year-olds are doing getting drunk in clubs in Mexico, but it is what it is. It's their fucking problem. Let's cancel him, man. You know why? Because he got me canceled on ESPN. So let's get him. Why don't you just say why you're really saying this?
You don't need me to tell you that. You don't need me to tell you that. But that's the way they view the sport. That's the way they view the organization. That's the
yes, because the UFC is all about domestic violence. That's what they want. You know? There have been some situations where I did scratch my head. The Mike Perry situation was kind of wild. I mean, he was accused of beating the crap, ground and pounding his girlfriend. But, you know, someone like, she was annoying, so it's okay. You know, that was weird to me. That was weird. Mike Perry went out there and he had a drunk night. I think he hit his mom or some shit. He comes home. He beats the crap of his annoying ex-girlfriend. Allegedly, that's what she said. We don't know for sure if it happened, but apparently it did, according to her side of the story. But no one believed her, so the UFC's like, keep Mike Perry, it's fine. So there have been some situations, yes, where you scratch your head and you'd be like, wow, you know, should they be fighting? I don't know all the details. I don't know what the fuck happened. I don't know. I don't believe you should hit a woman. I don't believe in domestic violence. I don't think any of that is legit. I just don't know what happened in those situations. I mean, Rumble Johnson was arrested for domestic violence. When he passed away, everyone was like throwing a party for him. I don't think Rumble did it. I don't. I think he restrained his girl, but who knows? Maybe he was strangling his girl. I have no idea. I don't know the story. But think about this. We pick and choose which direction we're going to go when it fits our narrative. And that's what's happening here. Ariel Helwani's taking a situation that, yes, it's kind of bizarre. It's kind of messed up. He's amplifying it so he could be the victim. And people are falling for it. Why?
Wonderful, wonderful.
Vlad.
Dana White just moved up to my top 3 sports personalities along with Ray Rice and OJ also. Ariel always runs his mouth until he's confronted, then hides behind the "hey, I'm just a frail, non-violent reporter asking questions" persona. Total cop-out.
Now, and thank you, Vlad. From what I gather, you know, from the Dana White situation, like I said, I'll say it a million times, the stream was wrong, right? He's lumping him in with what Greg Hardy was accused of. Like, what? It's weird, man.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Ariel has been a douche since he broke the Brock news early, and that's why Dana has hated him for so long. All he does is bitch and moan. I don't see why people call him king and swing from his nuts.
Thank you. Thank you, Fish. There is a part of me that would love to see Dana and Ariel just squash everything. You know, over and done with. Enough of this. It's gone way too long. But it's getting to the point now. You got your Dylan Dennis Ariel. You got your Dana White Ariel. You got your Brendan Schaub Ariel. You got the freaking clips and the shorts coming out of all these things. Ladies and gentlemen, he's an actor. All this is bullshit. And people, like, he's probably sitting at home with his family laughing his ass off. Maybe he's laughing his ass off at this stream because we're talking about him too, right? But he's got people talking. If you want to talk about him as a content creator like Patty Pimblett called him, which he is, and how he does a good job at selling himself and making himself viral, more power to you. But if you believe the narrative of this man being a victim, you're the most naive human being in the world. You need to look in the mirror. You need to cry for a good 15 minutes and then jump in the shower, cold, preferably. And find yourself. You need to find yourself right now.
Wonderful, wonderful.
What that schmuck not saying is Rachel Ostovich wasn't a victim despite facing it. Check your Discord on general section. There's an article that makes Ariel look even dumber.
Let's check it out. Let's check it out. Thank you, Sonosi. Thank you guys for the donations. Appreciate that. Your donations to this channel does not go to Vox Media. It goes to the MMA Holes. It doesn't go to the creator that you think you're going to, like in Ariel's stream. Like you think it's going to Ariel, and it doesn't go there. It goes everywhere else. Here, it goes to the MMA Holes. Let's go. There was someone, I'm not going to say the name because I like the guy, but there was someone that I saw was a member in Ariel's stream. And he's like, I just want to support Ariel and MMA fighting. I'm like, you do realize that MMA fighting, Vox is $1 billion company. Your membership that you're paying to chat in that chat is to $1 billion company. It's not to Ariel. You're supporting not MMA fighting. You're supporting $1 billion company. Here on the MMA Holes, you're supporting the broke. Okay, let's see. What is this story you're talking about here? Ostovich fine with Hardy. Here we go, ESPN, but you know, Ariel will spin it and say, well, ESPN. Wait, hold on a second. Rachel Ostovich on sharing card with Greg Hardy. I believe in second chances. My God, on Ariel's show?
A bunch of stuff on Twitter, and I was like, what is this? What is going on in the world? And I was just like, I didn't really look into it too much because, you know, I was kind of busy, like dealing with my own thing, and I got my daughter, and you know, life goes on. But then I started getting calls, and
all right, get to it, Rachel. What are we doing?
Nobody's situation is the same. I have nothing to do with Greg Hardy. I'm just grateful to be fighting again, and you know, I believe in second chances. I'm glad he's making a turnaround, and you know, I hope the same can happen for my husband. And
well, thank you, Sonosi. Appreciate that. The MMA Holes always win. You know, Ariel Helwani has a team of people, producers, and a whole crew of people together to collect information to 10-7. Nah, 10-7 Ariel. Jesus Christ. The phoniest person on the internet. The phoniest human being on the internet. What was he saying about Rachel Ostovich? Oh, shit. She was on his show. She was on Ariel's show. talking about she's fine with it. Damn, Ariel, who are you defending here? Who are you protecting? Oh, well, hey, Rachel's weak. She got beat up, so she can't speak for herself. I'm sorry, Rachel goes into a cage and fights another human being. That's a pretty tough individual. She doesn't give a fook. What else we got on Ariel? Let's see.
Way they view him.
What else we got, Ariel?
He's the fight promoter guy. This is the crazy cage fighting sport. It's okay. Guess what? It's not okay. Because we treat this like a real sport. We treat this like they treat the NFL. We treat this like they treat the NBA. And
by the way, I don't give a this count over here is for me to laugh. Because every time we do a fight reaction, we just explode the channel some more. When we watch a person leave the channel, we just watch another weak person fly off and float off into the, the sheep herd. Don't worry. Don't worry about that.
MLB. This is not okay. It's not. And it's not okay for the UFC to be silent about it, and it's not okay for Endeavor to be silent about it, and it's not okay for the fighters to be defending it. None of it is okay.
Oh, it's not? It's not, Ariel? It's not okay? No, thanks for letting us know, Ariel. God.
This behavior is not okay. And it doesn't matter if it was someone who is fighting for 10 and 10 or an executive at the very top, because I could guarantee you if it was me, I'd be done. And I can guarantee you if it was me, the things that he would be saying about me would be a hell of a lot less diplomatic than what I'm saying about him right now. Because
yeah, now Ariel, it's going to get to the point of the his little speech where he starts to get emotional and then drop the 10-7 domestic violence hotline. Dude, don't believe this nonsense.
1, 2, 3.
Here we go. Roberto.
Take me out to the
Ball game.
Take me out with the crowd.
Here he comes.
Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I never get back. So let's root the Cubbies.
If they
don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2,
3 strikes, you're
out at the old ball game.
Look at that arm, baby. Look at that arm.
I'm just having a hard time. Dana decided to go to a nightclub in Cabos for New Year's. I think Dana needs more privacy. Cabos has plenty of places for people like Dana.
Yeah, if he's going to beat up his wife, he should do it. Thank you for the donation, Roberto. Appreciate that. Wasn't Conor McGregor accused of rape? And Ariel was begging to have him on? No, he wasn't guilty, right? But I don't know. Greg Hardy, I don't know what's going on. That's okay. Listen, it's all about the clicks, right? You gotta be your me. Beat it up, baby!
Spank away, spank away.
Ariel Helwani! Here he comes! Ariel Helwani!
Ariel Helwani. I was fired. Ariel Helwani.
A double
Dana
beater!
White doesn't like me.
All I kept thinking through the Ariel interview is how hypocritical he is about domestic violence. Everyone wants to be an activist while they speculate about John Jones's return and success at heavyweight. Didn't dude beat his wife and get arrested too?
Ariel Helwani is doing what a lot of people in the Facebook world do. They use fucked up situations to drive their narrative home. That's what they do. That's what people that are hypocrites, that's what they do. Don't buy into this stuff, man. Like I said, he's probably a good dad. He's a smart human being. There's no doubt about that. He's good at what he does. But we're going to call you out, bud. We're going to call you out, man. When you're being a hypocrite, we're here. We're always going to be here to call you out until you freaking straighten yourself out, man. Like, what's going on here? Thank you for the donation. Appreciate that, Ninja Choke.
Wonderful.
Oh, boy. Here's Mel Gibson. Oh, boy. Here we go.
Look, I've met some whiny Jews in Hollywood: Letterman, Seinfeld, Ben Stiller, But this Ariel guy takes the cake. He probably shouldn't watch YT vids from New York subways.
Oh my God, I'm a big fan, Mel. I'm a big fan. Thank you very much, Mel Gibson, coming in. He's had some sketchy moments, Mel. His movies haven't been that great as of late, but still, you know, he's still Braveheart.
Because as I told you back in December, all the things that he says about me, times 10. Times 10.
Oh, yeah? Okay. Well, maybe. You might not be wrong about that. Dana White's, but here's the difference between you and Dana White. Dana White's not the guy to play victim. You are a victim times 10.
But I'll bite my tongue for a little longer.
Yeah?
I hope you recognize just how tough it is to hear someone like that speak of me like that, the way in which he does, knowing that's who he is. And I'm reminded of the same quote that I used during the early days of the pandemic about the organization, about him, and I had to dance around it considering who I was working for. I'm reminded of the late, great Dennis Green, who once said about the Chicago Bears when he was the coach of the Arizona Cardinals, they are who we thought they were. He is who we thought he was.
He is what, Ariel?
He is who I know who he is.
A promoter, yes. He's obnoxious, but that's kind of his job. And he's pretty good at his job, right? You are what we know you are, a weasel. Dana White is a sleazy slimebag promoter. I mean, let's be serious. If you're a promoter of a combat sport, which one is not like a used car salesman sleazeball? I mean, they're all like that. That's their job. What are you trying to say, Ariel? What are you trying to say? He's running around saying he's the greatest thing since sliced bread? No.
I hope you understand now, because I said it back then and I'll say it again. He is who I know he is.
A promoter. His job is to sell fights. His job is to put asses in the seats. His job is to sell pay-per-views. His job is to con, like Sonosi said in the audience. He's to con his people into buying his product and selling his product. He's a salesman. And I'm sure if we had Dana White on, I'm sure he would back that up and say, that's my job, man. Like, that's what I do. So, Ariel, what are you telling us? We already know this. He knows this. What are you trying to... Are we trying to open up our... Like, we know.
Y'all can keep defending him. Y'all can keep defending him. You can keep defending the actions. You could keep defending the way that they treat fighters. You could keep doing that. And I'll still be here talking about the sport, and I love the sport, and I love the fighters. I can't believe that you are defending this. Shame on all of you who are defending this. Shame on every single one of you. Shame on every single fighter who's defending this. Shame on TBS if they're going to...
Exactly. They keep defending you. Exactly. Ariel, you're feeding us bullshit, and they keep defending you. You're doing the same thing. You're just not hitting your wife. So you do win on that. But let's be honest here. You're using the 30 minutes to acquire clicks. And your narrative is domestic violence. Like, that's the underlying thing. He's a horrible human being. You're using domestic violence. You're dragging his children and his wife through the mud so you can prove a point about Big Bad Dana. What do you think his children think, Ariel? I'm sure they're going through enough right now. What do you think his children think about you using this situation, Ariel Helwani, to be a victim? You're using kids. Child labor, Ariel.
Air that slap fighting league. And last I checked, you click on the link, it doesn't even go to anything anymore, so who the hell knows? Can you script it any worse? Shame on TBS if that's what you're going to do. Shame on TBS if you're going to air a slap fighting league, and shame on anyone who picks it up afterwards.
That was the first question we had. Is TBS, what are they going to do with this? Are they still going to have power slap with the whole thing with Dana? It did jump into my mind because honestly, like, TBS has the ability to say, okay, you know what? We don't have to do this here right now. Dana doesn't have to be involved. I think they will still have Dana. And then Ariel says shame. So I want to ask the chat, what do you think about this? Do you think TBS should pull the plug and say, hey, man, we have to edit this in a way where Dana's not involved? Let me know in the chat whether the yeses or no's. I'm actually curious what you think about that. Ariel mixes in with fighters, but I think he secretly believes they are all beneath him. I mean, I don't think that. I think, like I said, I don't think Ariel's a bad person. I think he is the biggest phony. I think he's the biggest hypocrite. The one thing he hates about other people is what he's what he does. He complains about himself. It's the bizarrest thing in the world. Always the victim. Oh, it's just... It's weird. Everything now one thing I got to say, he has an edge here because of, the fact that Dana did hit his wife. So he could have used this in a more, I don't know, tolerable way, I would say. He could have used this. He could have went on there and be like, he could have just jumped on air and just be like, who's the bad guy now, bro? Who's the scumbag? Who's the asshole? Use whatever Dana said and say, Dana? Dana, you there, buddy? I mean, even Jake Paul said, Dana, just say something and move on. 30 some odd minutes to collect 1 million clicks and bullshit. The more you talk about how you're a victim, the more you're going to get exposed. And that's what you did. You gave us content. Thank you very much, Ariel. I appreciate it. Thank you for the clicks and the likes. Thank you for being wonderful, wonderful.
Super chat.
Real Fight Talk, how you doing?
Helwani is just mad he's not strong and jacked enough to do what Dana did. He has to pay another guy to do it. Maybe Kanye was right.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is, You see Dana with all the muscles, strong arming his woman. Ariel's jealous he can't get away with that. Possible. Thank you.
After that, really? And they've stayed quiet as well.
He's getting emotional now. It's starting to get to him. We have 2 minutes. Hold on. We got about 6 minutes left of this stuff. And it's going to get very emotional, guys. If you can hit the like button, I'd appreciate that. This little thing over here, let's get to 250 with the likes. Smash up that like button. I appreciate all the likes that come in. Also, I want to give a shout out to our sponsors, the greatest sponsors in the world, CBDX.com. The promo code is MMA-HOLES for 20% off. MMA-HOLES for 20% off. Let me know if you have any problems with the email. If you have to do multiple emails, let me know. We're trying to iron that out. But we know for sure if you use it once with an email and it doesn't work a second time, just switch up the email and you'll get that discount. We're trying to get it where, the email works in one shot. I just want to give a review real quick before we get into the Dana White situation. I got myself the Delta 9 and I flew high with my mom last night on the Delta 9. Stronger. Different experience. I got to be honest with you. If you want a complete review, Delta 8 tastes better. Delta 8 has a little bit of a different high, a little more manageable. This one over here, beware. The taste is not as good, but the job, and this is straight up marijuana. This is CBDX.com, promo code MMA-HOLES, the Delta 9. That's the real deal. Okay. But yeah, I might be more of a Delta 8 guy, but I'm gonna keep going with the Delta 9, fly around and see what happens. So try it out for yourself. Let me know. Get high and enjoy life. Seriously, do it responsible. Make sure you're of age. Use the promo code. Get the deal. Let me know what you think. CBDX.com. MyBookie.ag. The promo code is MMA-HOLES. The Super Bowl's right around the corner. You got all the playoffs coming. You got the UFC back in action. If you're going to gamble, use MyBookie.ag. Use promo code MMA-HOLES for 100% match in your first deposit. Head Rush. We've got 2 links in the description for them. Premium clothing. The 20% off code MMA-HOLES for the discount. Check it out. You're going to love the swag. Links down below. ESPN Plus. If you're looking to watch the fights, click the link. That's all you got to do. And if you sign up with our link, we get commission. Also, the best underwear in the fucking world, Sheath Underwear. Check it out down below. You got a little bonus patch for your pee-pee. You can put it in there. If you don't want to use it, it's fine. It's the most comfortable underwear I've ever worn. 20% off. The code is MMA-HOLES. Hold on, let me try this again. I'm not high, I promise. MMA-HOLES. MMA Holes. No dash. Just MMA Holes for all the discounts. Thank you to our sponsors. All right. And the sponsors support the show, just like the donations support the show. Keep us rolling. We don't pay Vox. You know, Vox is not the one that's, pulling the strings over here. We don't have the fancy big companies backing us. We are a mom and pop MMA channel. Uh-oh. Dan Hardy. Oh my God, he's triggered. He's triggered. Yeah, trigger, buddy.
I bet Ariel slapped his wife so fucking hard tonight, man.
He probably did. He probably beat the crap at his wife after this. After he had that, he had to get that adrenaline dump. He's like, let's make sure the cameras aren't rolling, and pow, right off the side of the head. No, that probably didn't happen. How dare you? How dare you?
Wonderful, wonderful.
Sanosi raging with a 2-spot.
Ariel should count his blessings that Dana is not as evil as he thinks. By this point I James Krause his ass. Watch how fast his channel dies. Stated many times without interviews he has nothing, lacks personality and charisma, clearly not a vagina toe.
Thank you so much, Sanosi. Well, here's the thing. I think Ariel's channel will be fine no matter what. He's on a roll. Like, a lot of fighters will do anything to get on his show. I mean, it's like the Johnny Carson show for fighters. Like, fighters will literally jump through fiery hoops. If they get a text from Ariel, like, they're delighted. And I guess because some fighters can't promote themselves, so they like the exposure, the audience that Ariel has. So I get it. Fighters use it to build their brand. That's fine. But what I did think was, what if Dana gets through this just clean, right? So say he does whatever, break he takes or whatever, he falls off for a little bit, he gets right back on the saddle, everyone says, okay, listen, it is what it is, it's over and done with, no one's seriously hurt, it's not as serious as everyone says it is, the situation's fine, the family's happy, we forgive Dana, the family forgives Dana, whatever you want to say, and everything moves on. What is to stop Dana White from literally saying, you know what, I've had enough, I'm not going to let my fighters on your show? Like, is that what Ariel's pushing for? Like, the ultimate victim thing? I mean, I would imagine that would be an incredible problem for Helwani, right? Because this whole show is based off of having fighter interviews. Now, I've noticed he has been transitioning a little bit. If you notice, he's having more segments, Ask the Nose or whatever. He's having his 2 knucklehead monkeys in the background get on mic, like, I have no personality, like Beavis and Butthead getting on there. Like, it's just I don't know where he's finding these human beings, but they're there. And, I notice what he is doing is I think he's preparing himself. Ariel is transitioning. Yeah, I do see that. I think that Ariel's like, listen, man, any chance we get, we're going to fire the shots at Dana. I respect it. I respect that, right? You got to take your shot, get the clicks, whatever. But if Dana puts a squash on it and says, hey, man, I've had enough of this guy. I mean, what's to say he can't do that? He's the boss. Poking the bear too much. Then what does Ariel do? I mean, did he do enough right now? I mean, I guess he could. I think he's popular enough where he can still sustain his show. I don't think it's entertaining enough, though. I don't. I feel like it'll get stagnant. I think his, meat and potatoes are the fighters. People want to watch a stream because of what fighter's going to be on. So I want to get your opinions on this because it's an interesting conversation. We'll finish up the Ariel situation. We'll talk about Phil Baroni, which is a massively disturbing story. And now now if Dana did that, now we're talking. Ariel, go for it. Go for it, because that Phil Baroni thing is like bone chilling. He slapped his wife around. I don't know. What do you want me to say? What was it? It loses strength without the UFC fighters. Ariel and Dana should fight. That would be problematic, I think, for Ariel. Even though Dana's old, he's a big boy. Ariel would have to move over to Bellator instead. I mean, I guess, yeah, he could interview. I guess, right? I wonder, like, what does Vox do, right? If Ariel Helwani were to lose his connection with all the fighters. Now, listen, I'm not saying that I want that to happen. As much as I criticize Helwani, or if we criticize anyone on the show, I am not wishing for any human being's demise by doing this stream. I'm not doing this stream because I'm wishing for Ariel to fail. What I'm trying to do is put a spotlight on someone and say, listen, dude, you're not that righteous. You're a hypocrite. You're running around saying everyone else is a hypocrite when you're public enemy number one. That's what we need to understand here. I would never want my worst enemy to lose their job. You don't want that to happen. You want people to live their lives however they want to do it. Everyone should be entitled to an opinion, and then we move on. So anyway, let's finish up this Ariel situation here.
Shame on anyone who's covering that, honestly. Shame on all of you. That's not sport. Shame on Nevada for sanctioning that. Nevada, who doesn't sanction BKFC, they sanction that? You're kidding me? No defense? Shame on the fighters that have to take part in it. Shame on all of them. Alcohol flowed.
He's so perfect, Ariel. Most perfect human being I've ever met. I've met him a couple times. Real nice guy. Perfect. I feel like criticism is healthy. It is. Like, listen, I sat through with my parents this one guy that ripped apart Mike Goldberg for his NFL. He had a brief thing with the NFL, and his goal was to literally just shit on Mike Goldberg, one of the nicest human beings in the world, for no reason, just for clicks. There was no motive behind it. There was no moral to the story. There was just basically, I am going to spend, I don't know, 30 minutes on Mike Goldberg and just rip him apart. Has anyone even seen that video? I watched it like 2 times because I was like, I couldn't believe it. I showed my pop it and I was like, damn, bro. Like where do you have that anger inside you where you have to just ruin this person? I'm not trying to ruin Ariel Helwani. Like I said, I think he's a nice guy. I think he's a good father. I think he's very good at his job. I just don't like this false narrative. I don't like the fact that he's playing victim constantly. It's getting annoying. Let's see. No one saw it. Constructive criticism from Moss, varying MMA perspectives. Yeah, I mean, listen, at the end of the day, when everyone is Team Ariel, which that's the case, really, I would say if you poll the MMA community, especially Twitter, I would say it's very heavy Team Ariel right now. I mean, like I said, we got a DM right before we went live. I'm not going to say the person's name, but surprisingly was like, oh, Ariel roasted him. Like, I did not get that. I didn't. And I'm not defending Dana. I just didn't. I don't get that. Like, I don't know where are you getting this. In fact, I thought Ariel roasted himself with hypocritical comment that we just exposed the Rachel Ostovich thing. We just exposed him having Greg Hardy on the show. He's running around saying the UFC is so horrible for having Greg Hardy compete on the same card as Rachel, Greg Hardy competing at all with domestic violence, and then Ariel has him as a guest. I mean, you can go on and on about the nonsense that Ariel Helwani has done and say, well, why did you support it then? Why'd you have him on?
Do you remember anything from that night? Shame on everyone. Shame on everyone for just letting this slide because you wouldn't let it slide if it was someone else.
Oh my God, Ariel. Dude, really? Dude. Really?
I don't know what is going to happen. I'm not even advocating for anything again. You know, there needs to be repercussions. There needs to be accountability. I don't think there will be. Prove me wrong.
Why should there be accountability? Why? Did he seriously hurt his wife? He was wrong, yes. He should be criticized, yes. But what should the UFC do? Seriously, what are you asking? Are you asking for him to lose his job? What are you asking for? I don't understand. Because honestly, I thought it was disturbing. Yes, I don't think you should hit a woman. No. I think they were both wrong in the situation. How you doing, Big Dog? What are you doing? What should we do? Honestly, chat, if you're Team Ariel right now, help me out. What should the UFC do with Dana White? What should ESPN do with Dana White? What should happen here? This is BS. He should lose his job. He should lose his... Wait, Dana should lose his job? Oh, not lose. I was like, what? Hold on. Let me know. Because I want to know. I want to hear the other side. You heard all my opinion here. I want to hear, the majority of the internet that's, is saying cancel Dana White. What should we do? If that was your sister? If that was your sister, what? what are we saying here? Your sister's a knucklehead for marrying this guy and slapping him in the first place. If this guy has a problem with putting his hands on you, what are you slapping him for? Get the hell out of the marriage. What are you doing? Your sister's an idiot. Idiot for hitting a guy that's apparently going to hit her back. Like what are you doing? Get out of there. Fire Dana and hire Ariel. Oh my God. I'd probably not watch. I'd probably be like, all right, I'm done. Not advocating for it, but then says prove him wrong. Makes that make sense. Make that make sense. A lot of things. I feel like Ariel kind of dropped the ball in a lot of stuff. This is not his best speech. It's not. His head wasn't completely there, and it opened him up to having holes in what he was saying. Ariel versus Dana slap league. I think that if his wife isn't making a big deal about it, then it isn't a big deal. Yeah. So, listen, there are a lot of situations. I had a friend that was in a really bad situation with a guy that was abusive. He was a real asshole. We couldn't get her out of the situation. She was always defending him. That's a real thing. And for the women that are in that situation, my heart goes out to them, and I hope that we can get them all out of that situation. I hope we could beat the shit out of every male that puts their hand on their wife or their girlfriend, slaps them, punch them, whatever. You can't do that. You can't. You can't do that. If this is like a thing, you cannot do that. If you have a situation, now I'm just going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I don't know. Maybe Dana's hit it before. And if he has, we have a problem. But all we saw was at a club. We saw both of them were completely wrong. Dana did grab her. She could have walked away. Dana should have never grabbed her. But I don't think he was thinking, oh, she's going to slap me now. And she right across the face. And then Dana retaliates. Wrong and wrong. Both parties are wrong in this situation. And yes, I agree. It's worse to hit a woman. You should never do that. You should walk away and be like, yeah, I'm not going to, especially in public. Like, what are you doing? But you should never put your hands on a woman. I agree. But both human beings displayed domestic violence. Both of them. Not just one. And if we're just going to look in one direction because of this situation, I think we need to reevaluate our opinions.
Super chat.
Need to be accountability. She need jail for assault.
You're putting her in jail? I mean, she did. She threw the first blow. Lock her up. When I saw the domestic violence thing pop up, and I'll put the graphic on the screen, I laughed because all I thought was, is this for her? Because she hit him first. Like, is this, should Dana be calling this number?
Color me surprised. I don't know. I don't know what is going to happen. But to me, if you want to know my stance on it, you don't touch a woman. You don't touch the mother of your kids. You don't touch your wife. You don't touch anyone. You walk away, and there's no excuse. Even though they tried to offer him excuses, there are absolutely no excuses. And as he said, you don't bounce back. And I agree. It's pretty freaking hard to bounce back. I remember Chris Albrecht, head of HBO, who didn't bounce back when he got into an altercation with his girlfriend, I believe it was, when they were in Las Vegas for a fight, and that actually wrecked the HBO UFC deal. He didn't bounce back from that. Didn't bounce back from that. I saw Dana White talking.
Was that, I don't know what the situation was, so tell me what that was. Does anyone know? Can anyone slide into the Discord and tell me about that situation? What did that guy, hold on, what's the name? I'm going to do a little research on, see what this guy did.
Didn't bounce back from that. I saw Dana White talking when they were in Las Vegas for a fight, and that actually wrecked the HBO UFC deal. He didn't bounce back from that.
What's his name?
With his girlfriend, I believe it was, when they were in Las Vegas, and he got into an altercation.
Who's he? Who is he?
There are absolutely no excuses. And as he said, you don't bounce back. And I agree. It's pretty freaking hard to bounce back. I remember Chris Albrecht. Chris
Albrecht. Okay, let's do some research, boys. Let's do some research. Chris Albrecht. Who the fuck is Chris Albrecht? Who is that? Domestic violence. I didn't plan on going this long with this, but now I'm a little. Violence, nudity, adult content. Chris Albrecht, GQ, blames 2007 arrest on difficult relationship. All right, here we go. Chris Albrecht blames 2007 arrest on difficult relationship. In November, Issue of GQ, Chris Ulbrich breaks out of silence in May 2007, domestic violent arrest because it took him to HBO. All right. All right, what did he do? After 3 a.m. on Sunday morning, he told them Jensen, pissing him off. Jensen's neck was red, but she refused medical attention. Ulbrich spent 12 hours in jail, which he called not fun. So he strangled the girl? Violence against anybody is wrong. What did he do? He strangled his fucking girl. He went to jail. There was red marks on her neck as he strangled her. Are we following abuse? Let's see. Legendary. Chris Ulbrich on leave from Legendary follow abuse. I don't want to know his side. I want to know what he was accused of. What did he get arrested for? Does anyone know what he got arrested for? A slap compared to strangling. Yeah. So listen, you should never put your hands on a woman. I agree. I completely agree. And there shouldn't be, okay, this was worse than that. But what I'm trying to say here is Ariel's comparing the two. So if Ariel is bringing this up, I would like to know, what is he comparing? That's what I would like to know. And I can't seem to find out exactly. Deserve much worse. Let's see. Hollywood executive Chris Ulbrich was placed on leave amid allegations he choked a colleague while at HBO. He choked a colleague. Wasn't even his girlfriend or anything. He choked a fucking colleague. Let's see. After more than 30 years, and where is it? Chris Ulbrich, the president of Legendary Television. So Legendary Television has been placed on administrative leave after allegations surfaced. He choked colleague during his time. Okay, let's see. Legendary studio behind Netflix. Okay. Well, I don't know. Listen, I don't even know if this guy did it, but if he did, I mean, choking a fucking colleague? I don't know what the deal is. I don't know what the deal is. All right. Well, I don't know. I don't even know who that guy is, but it sounds like Chris did a little bit worse there, choking out a fucking colleague, but I don't know. What do I know?
Of HBO, who didn't bounce back when he got into an altercation with his girlfriend, I believe it was.
Well, it's a colleague, Ariel.
And they were in Las Vegas for a fight, and that actually wrecked the HBO UFC deal. He didn't bounce back from that. I saw Dana White talking recently about John Skipper and how he got, blackmailed for his cocaine use. He lost his job. He had to walk away. There are repercussions. What are the repercussions here? Where's the accountability? Why the silence?
I don't think he choked his wife.
Wonderful.
Sounds like a different situation, but whatever.
My wife and I were talking about the Dana situation after it leaked, and she was honestly defending Dana. And I don't even hit her, bro.
I got to be honest with you, Ninja Choke, and thank you for that donation. That's actually an important donation here. Most of the women that I've spoken to, I haven't spoken to one woman that actually said that Dana was completely wrong in the situation. Yes, he shouldn't have done that. We all agree on that. He shouldn't have done that. But saying he's completely wrong in the situation and to try to cancel him the way, Ariel's trying to cancel him. Trying to cancel a human being, you gotta really hate someone. And Ariel clearly hates Dana. Dana clearly hates Ariel. So have at it, boys. You got to really have hate in your heart to really do that. But I don't know. Like Ariel has a severe case of Karenitis, though. Yeah, I mean, I guess. I mean, that one girl is a fine young lady of the chat. She's fine with it. And then you got these this good night guy, whoever was just blabbing about it. Then you got like dudes that just like so soft. They're just like, just cancel him. Cancel him immediately. Without knowing like all the information.
That's what I want to know. Why the silence? And so I'll say one last thing on all of this, and then we could put all of this to bed.
Okay, Ariel, finally, let's put it all to bed, baby. Let's go. We got about 4 minutes left of this puppy.
As I said,
it's going to get... Okay, if you stayed around this long, what are we, live Way too long. 100, what? An hour and 24 minutes. Oh, my God. Way too long on this topic, but I'm loving every minute of it. Hanging with the boys over here.
Hanging with the boys.
Let's wrap this up in a little bow. Thank you for being here with our ridiculous segment. Very long segment. I appreciate your company. We're shedding a light on someone that is a complete hypocrite. We've done this before, and unfortunately, we have to do this again. I think after this stream, we're all going to need a cold shower, and we're all going to realize that, okay, maybe Ariel's not the perfect human being like he tries to paint himself to be. It's ridiculous. Here we go, Ariel. Let's wrap it up, bud.
It's been way too personal. And it has reached levels that I never thought in a million years that it would reach. And I've debated in my mind over the last few days if I go to a certain place, and I'm not going to go to a certain place. I'm not going to go to a certain place because this ultimately isn't about me.
Yeah! That is a lie. This is not about you? Oh, I'm sorry. I checked out your Twitter. You were pretty delighted about this. Dude, does anyone buy that? Does anyone? This wasn't about him.
And I'm not going to go to a certain place. I'm not going to go to a certain place because this ultimately isn't about me, and I don't want it to be about me, but it needs to be about the sport. It needs to be about who is leading this sport. And
Ariel, correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like you're trying to cancel a guy that basically got you canceled, right? From the UFC events and ESPN. It sounds like you're on a revenge tour. It's like Kill Bill. You're Uma Thurman right now. You're trying to kill Bill. I'd have way more respect for you if you're like, I got you, motherfucker. Like if you got on the mic and said, hey, man, karma's a bitch. Like, let's go. Pull out the sword. Take him out. Instead, you whine and complain about this whole situation. For 30 straight minutes, you go on and on and on about how righteous you are, and we just exposed you with the Greg Hardy thing. Help me out here, Ariel. Help me out. What are we doing here? When are you going to stop with the shenanigans?
And who is involved in this sport and the way in which people view the sport. And so I'm not going to go to a certain place. But I will say this. Of all the things that Dana White has said about me, all the lies, all the insults, all the bullshit, all the nonsense.
Wait, hold on a second. Let me rewind this for a second. He says, I'm not going to make this about me. And then he says all the things that Dana White said about me. What? Wait, what?
This sport and who is involved in this sport and the way in which people view the sport. And so I'm not going to go to a certain place. But I will say this. Of all the things that Dana White has said about me, all the lies, all the insults.
I'm not going to make this about me, but let me talk about me for a second. You can't make this up. 10-7, Ariel, you cannot make this up. Okay.
So all the bullshit, all the nonsense, all the mean, vitriolic, disgusting things that he has said about me.
Yes.
For what? Side note, for what?
So
for breaking some news, for getting it right, for not kissing his ass, for not cupping his balls, for what? Of all the things that he has said, there has only been one. There has only...
Ariel, he doesn't like you, bro. You sound like a clingy ex-girlfriend. He doesn't like you. He don't like you. Sorry. You just didn't cling his balls enough. You didn't follow the narrative. Move on, bro. Move on. He broke up with you. Move on.
Been one that has stuck with me, that hurt me right here, that made me think a certain way, that was like a spear in the heart. There has only been one that has stayed with me, that I can hear it in my brain.
Yes, Ariel?
And that was back in 2016. That was back after the UFC 199 incident. Oh. That was a couple days after the unbanning. And
what?
Dana was on UFC Filtered.
I can't hear you.
Sarah.
Yeah.
And he was talking about this whole thing, and he was saying that I was you know, throwing a pity party for myself, and they were making fun of me, and he was talking about how I was a scumbag and a this and a that, and making and you know, perpetuating these lies. And in the interview, which I'm not going to play, he was making fun of the fact that when I spoke about it on this show in a different studio, I got very emotional. And this is the one thing that when I saw it and when I heard,
oh my God. I'm not going to make this about me. And then he instantly follows it up with how emotional he is and all this nonsense. Like, bro, you are a fraud. Like a phony fraud. You're a liar. You hate liars. You hate frauds. You hate phonies. You're doing it all. You're doing it all right now. We are all 200 people listening to you, Ariel. 200 just listening to you. Bullshit. And on your stream, you had like 10,000 people. Memberships. Yeehaw! Suck at a dick. Like, what is going on? Just eating and gobbling this shit up.
heard it, I was like, fucking hell, I can't believe he went there.
Oh, my God.
I can't believe he went to this level. I can't believe
Dana White did this. I'm the most successful person in the MMA world. Everyone knows who I am. I get the biggest guests. I'm back with Vox, and I have this great show, the best show on the internet when it comes to the MMA world. I'm riding high, but I just can't enjoy that enough. I have to sit here and fucking cry. Woe is me. It's like a celebrity going out there like, oh, they ask for a picture. It's just disgusting being a celebrity. Oh, they want my autograph. Ew, that's gross. That's what Ariel's doing right now. Bro, just deal with it, man. Deal with it. Like, I mean, what the fuck is going on? Me too. Hashtag me too, Ariel. Come on. Dude, the reason why I am doing these streams is because I have had enough, man. You go on Twitter, you're like, what is he? Like, you can't go anywhere without people just gobbling Ariel's cock. It's crazy.
Let's go, champ.
Let's go, champ. How you doing, champ? Nicole Wilson, a member for 29 months. Let's go. A fine young lady over there. Black belt of the chat. Appreciate it. Fucking me too, Ariel.
Aw, super chat.
Spam the chat with me too, Ariel.
Talent, grace under fire, legitimacy and high ground go to MMA-Holes most often. WW.
I promise you on this channel, you may not want to hear it. You may not want to listen or join in on that stream, whatever. But we will be the realest. Whether it's Jess, whether it's myself, we will always be 100 with you guys. Whether you like it, you want to hear it, you don't want to hear it. We'll give you our crazy theories, our opinions. We'll give it to you. Shameless plug to our merch. We'll give it to you strong over here. We don't agree with everything, but I think that's the beauty. To sit here and constantly complain about something that really is irrelevant. You're still interviewing his fighters. You're still very successful. This little tear-jerking story over here is bullshit.
he stooped so low. Because again, you don't like me as a journalist, you don't like me as a host, you don't like me as a newsbreaker, fine. But
no, he just doesn't like you, Ariel. I mean, it's okay, man. Some people don't like each other. He doesn't like you. Like, is it a big deal? Is it? Why can you not get over this? He doesn't like you. It makes no sense. He doesn't like you. Just get over it. Move on. It is what it is. If he takes a shot, take a shot back, move on.
You don't go to a certain level. That's what I've always believed. And that's what I've always tried to hold on to, no matter what, even though so many others have tried to make it personal. And in the interview with those guys, if you want to call it an interview, they were talking about me crying, and he said,
you're crying right now. You're crying right now.
Something to the effect of like that I look like a wuss, and your kids are going to see that. Your kids are going to see that one day.
Oh, who cares?
And how embarrassed they would be.
Ariel, your kids are going to see this. Just saying. They're going to see this. this. My kids are going to see this. Get over it. You're in the public eye, bro. It's okay. It's okay. Sometimes your kid's going to be embarrassed of you. You're going to say things like this. Your kids will see it. I'm going to dance with maybe a penis on my head. Someone's going to clip it. My daughter's going to see it. That's what happens when you're in front of a camera, Ariel, and you got 10,000 people watching you. Chances are your kids will see it. It's not really that big of a deal, bro. Move on.
By seeing their father cry, by seeing their father get emotional after he was just, verbally assaulted, after other shit has happened, after he was told his career was over.
Sounds like you need some therapy. You got to talk to somebody. You're hitting the point where I'm starting to feel really bad for you. Not for the reasons why we should be feeling bad for you. It's kind of like laughing with you, laughing at you.
After he was told that there was a bullet in his head, that he was done. Your kids are going to see that. And I could not believe.
Oh, my God. When I was a kid, if someone was to talk like this in the fucking schoolyard, we would instantly just find a way to put him in a locker. We would find a way to just say, shut the fuck up. But these days, it's about just whining idiots. Just everyone's just whining. Oh, my kids are going to see this. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
That he would go to that level, that he would talk about my family. That has stuck with me since 2016.
Oh, my God, bro. You need help. You shouldn't be telling YouTube this. If this has been in your head since 2016, you should be telling a therapist, a professional, not 10,000 people all over the world. Oh, wait, I forgot. I'm sorry. This is for clicks. My bad.
Has always remained with me. That's the kind of person that he is. You don't talk about people's families. You don't talk about people's kids. You don't talk about any of that. That has always stuck with me. What are your kids going to say about that? And I'll be honest with you, when he said it, I thought to myself, what are my kids going to say about this? And I know what my kids are going to say. I know what they're going to say. I know forever that they're going to say that, I stood up for myself and I told the truth and all that stuff. I have nothing to be ashamed of. I have nothing to hide. But I've never forgotten it. And so on this day, I'll raise the same freaking question that he raised about me back in 2016.
Here we go, boys. Get the popcorn ready. Popcorn in the chat. Here it comes.
What are your kids going to say about you? What are your kids going to say about your legacy?
They're not... Dana White already addressed the media, or addressed TMZ, whatever, and he said, listen, we are worrying about our kids. This is who, it's not about me and my wife. We're good. We're good, right? This is a quote from both of them, both parents. We're worried about our kids. So we don't need your Jewish fucking stupid head to fucking say, hey, we don't need you to say anything about our kids, right? We already said that. Dana already said this already. So why do we need fucking nostrils over here to jump out there and say, okay, what about your kids? He already said, what about the kids, Ariel? Come up with a new shtick. He said it already. So where are you going with this?
What are your kids going to say about you? What are your kids going to say about your legacy? About the way you treat fighters? About the way you treat people?
They don't give a fuck. They're having parties. They're having all this crazy stuff going on here. Now, the wife back and forth, yeah, that's a problem. He addressed that. Do you think his kids are going to give a shit about fighter pay while they're swimming in their fucking Olympic-sized pool? Having a chef flip burgers into their mouths as they're on a floaty? Like, do you think his kids care about that? No, Ariel. His kids don't care.
About your business practices. What are your kids going to say about that video?
What are your kids going to say about you getting me fired at ESPN?
What are your kids going to say about the kind of person that you are? What are your kids going to say about you? Ask yourself that fucking question.
Oh, the F-bomb, Ariel. Oh, my God. Oh, he's pointing. He's pointing too? No. Is he really pointing to? Don't tell me he's pointing too. Hold on a second. Yeah, he is. Guys. He is actually he's gotten to the point where he is pointing now. Ooh. Got him, Ariel. Take a look at that face. Take a look. Just take a look. This guy means business right now. Means business. Thank God Ariel said all this stuff. I mean, what will we do without Ariel's little speech over here, right? That's a memeable thing.
What are your kids going to say about you? Awards coming up. Don't go anywhere. I'll be back in a second.
So he takes the headphones off. And he puts... Dude, no, you can't make this up. And you got the whole internet just like, yeah, bro, you got him. I have a question for you, Ariel Helwani. National Domestic Violence Hotline. Is that for Dana or his wife? Because if I'm not mistaken, Dana's wife slapped him first. So who is the victim? Dana was just retaliating, right? Who should be calling that? They both were guilty in the situation. In the long run, that they're both wrong. Both of them. Who, Ariel, should call that number? Ladies and gentlemen, I think it's easy. We've gone 1 hour, 41 minutes. We've listened to the latter part of his 30-minute plus speech about Dana White. And what we've learned tonight is that this man could possibly be the biggest hypocrite of all time. Ariel Helwani, the biggest man in MMA media, the most successful,